Hello guys, this is a party political broadcast on behalf of Nigel's modelling bench. No, it's not, but I'm just getting you guys in the UK ready because your TVs are going to be covered in all this rubbish coming out of their mouths. Which basically that's all it is, it's a little rubbish, isn't it? They never do what they say they're going to do. Anyway, let's not get started on Brexit. Okay, so where are we? We are today on Wednesday, November the 6th, 2019, and this is my November update. And I want to start by saying thank you to all my subscribers. We're on over 5,400 now. I want to say thank you to all of those that leave fantastic comments. Thank you to all of those that leave negative comments, much appreciated. And thank you to those that leave absolutely pointless comments. Thank you. Glad you wasted your time on the keyboard. Want to thank also those that pledge money to the channel on PayPal and still Patreon. I threw my toys at the pram last month about Patreon. I see some of you haven't actually withdrawn your pledges on there, so I've left it open. So I'll put a link down below to PayPal and Patreon. The only reason I got funny about Patreon is because they won't allow you to do certain things on their channel, and they charge you, on their site should I say, and they charge you like 20% total for what you guys pay me. So if you guys pay me $10, I actually see $8, whereas if you do PayPal it's a lot less than that. So I'll put a link down below to both PayPal and Patreon, and if you want to help the channel, basically at the moment I'm putting all the money into a pot, saving up for a new camera, as most of you will know, so that's where we're going with that one. So for this month, October shall I say, I want to say a big thank you to John R, Bob B, Tony G. Here we go. This name is spelled E-E-L-T-J-E. Jan van blah blah blah. I'm assuming it's Ilch. I'm not sure. Really sorry, buddy. I know you email me a lot with pictures of your lovely models and stuff, and it's great to hear from you all the time. Thank you very much for your pledge. I'm assuming that's your name, Ilch. THL, not going to say his surname. Steve T, Wendy H, Alan H, Jason C, and Richard J. So thank you all very much for your kind donations. If you want to pay in dollars or in pounds, it doesn't matter because I have both currencies in my PayPal account. When I actually withdraw the money to buy a camera, I'll put it all into the correct currency then. And at the moment I'm standing around about £588. So obviously I'm just letting it build up and build up. Obviously the more money I get, then the better camera I get. What I'm looking for is something like Phil Flory's got, so I can zoom in and out. I can sort of, you know, bring you in closer to look at something without actually physically moving the camera or the part. So if we're looking at a small instruction manual, say, I can bring the camera down so it looks at the small instruction manual, so you get the screen full of instruction manual. If it's a bigger thing, like, you know, it's a big aircraft or something, we can zoom back and come away so you can see everything. If I'm doing some detailed work, I can zoom in, or sometimes I can just go up and go look at this bit here and be able to go in with the autofocus and look at that. So that's the sort of thing I'm looking for. Probably have to have it quite high up on the ceiling, but it definitely will be remote from the bench, so you won't get any vibrating or shaking. So that's that. I want to talk about adverts just quickly. Somebody sent a comment yesterday and they said I had 9 adverts in a 35-minute video. I've had a look on the settings, and as you all know, I absolutely hate ads in the middle of videos. Some people out there remain nameless. They have ads every 4 minutes, and it's such a pain. If you're trying to follow something, you know, follow a build or an inbox review or something, it just stops every 4 minutes. And you know, some of the ads as well, they come up, as you know, with video will play after ad, and it might be 13-14 seconds long. It's like, oh, just switch it off. I know some people have a rule they stick by. If somebody puts an ad in the middle of the video, they switch off and never watch them again. So that's why I don't have ads in the middle of my videos. But what I've noticed does happen sometimes is you get the little come up down the bottom across here. You see the little ad, the little flyer come up. I leave those on. I don't think they cause much of a problem. If you don't want to see it, just click on it and it goes away, or you can leave it there for a minute or whatever and it goes away anyway. So if you are seeing proper adverts that come up and stop the video and play the advert, I'd be interested to know, because it shouldn't be happening. I've got the option to allow that to happen. I can actually press a button and YouTube can say how often, how many adverts I have and where they go. I mean, they could basically put ads in every 2 minutes. That'd be great, wouldn't it? So yeah, I don't want to do that. I won't do it. So that's that out the window. So what have we been up to? As you know, we've been building the C141, and I'll be honest with you, the last part of this, it has killed me. It's almost gone out the window a couple of times, and it's my fault. The decals all went down great, as you know. I did a video on the decals. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe someone can tell me, but I put them down on a gloss coat. I use Caracal decals, which are made by Cartograph, so they're going to be like some of the best decals in the world. And as soon as I put the matte coat on, I had loads of silvering everywhere, and it was an absolute nightmare, and I couldn't get rid of it. So I scratched through the silvering, put Microsol on there. It did nothing. I put some Tamiya X20A on there. It did nothing. I wasn't going to go at it with extra thin because, of course, the paint underneath would have been attacked. So what I did then was I had a brainwave. I sprayed over with this. I know that if you paint Mr. Colour levelling thinners over a decal, it will just melt it into nothing. I didn't want to do that. So what I did, I took this one, which is the AK Real Colours High Compatibility Thinner. And if you can see it there, High Compatibility Thinner. It's kind of halfway. It's quite corrosive, but not as evil as the Mr. Colour, and I airbrushed it on quite heavy and just let it sit there, and it's done a half decent job and got rid of some of it. But when you watch the video, you'll see what I mean. It almost went out the window, as I say. Two options I've got now: leave it as it is and just ignore it. I can see silvering at certain angles. If you look at it at different angles, you can't see it. Strip it, repaint it, redecal it and everything, get another set of decals for it. Now, the model was like £25, the decals were like £14 or £15. I'm not going to go and waste all that time and do it all again and spend another £15 on decals. I'm just going to have to make sure that I've done something wrong when I've done the decaling. There's nothing wrong with the decals, there's nothing wrong with what I've used, or I don't think there's anything wrong with what I used. You know, some people have said, I've had one person comment quite aggressively, if you like, about furniture, floor polish, future floor polish. You know, it's not a model varnish. I absolutely agree. I've said this for many years. Future is not a varnish for models. Future is a floor polish. But a lot of people swear by it, and I thought I'll give it a go on this. I've got a bottle sat there. I'm not going to do that again. You also know I built the you can see it up there. There's the Topol, the SS25 sickle. I had all the issues with the getting the Viejo masking film off of the windows, and I was blaming the Viejo masking film. I've now done a test, or I've got a test going on. I've got the masking film sat for 20 days or 19 days, which is basically how, no, it wasn't 10 days, wasn't it? Which is how long that was sat. So that'll be sat there for 20 days, double the time. We'll see if it comes off. If it does, I'll do the same thing again. I'll cover it with the Future and see what happens. I've got a feeling, because I've used it, if you remember, I used it on Monty's Humber on the headlights and stuff, and it came off absolutely fine. So I've got a feeling the issue I've got is the actual plastic, the clear mouldings that Zvezda used, the material. It was very, very soft, almost like vinyl, and I'm wondering if the actual Vallejo mask has attacked that, and that's why it's stuck on there so bad. But anyway, I took it out the bin. I've still got it on the bench. I've used it before, and I haven't had any problems with it. So I don't know why it should have suddenly played up. So I'm sorry, Viejo, for saying your products are rubbish. Your primer is rubbish, but certainly that one's not. The Vallejo masking isn't. I've used it before and had no trouble. So there we go. That's that with that one. I've also bought this month. I got this little Model Collect 72nd scale kit, which is basically the S300, S400 launching systems, all based on the MAZ 537 chassis, which I love so much. This kit, I saw it on eBay. It was really cheap. It was about 28 quid, I think. And you don't get 4 kits, but you get the option to build any one of those 4 different versions. And what you've got in here is you've got the 5P85S S300, which is basically what the Trumpeter 135th scale kit is, and it's got the big command module office behind the cab. So this would be like the major firing station, and then these others would be, I think this one might be, try and get it out of the light so you can see what it is. There you go. That's the 5P85D. I think that one may be standalone as well, but I know that these two with the frame, they've got the frame behind the cab and a spare wheel, they're actually slaves to that one. So you also get, alongside this, you get the flap lid radar as well, which can do lots of amazing things as well. So yeah, I'm on a Russian thing at the moment. You start looking at Russian websites because of that Antonov I bought, the AN124, and you start seeing what they build and what they do in Russia, Russian modelers, and you start watching some Russian videos on YouTube. Of course, as soon as you put one Russian thing in and it comes up with a Russian speaking video, you get loads of other Russian speaking videos that you wouldn't normally see advertised on YouTube because you're always looking at it in English. And quite often these videos are, you can't understand a word they're saying. Their English is better than my Russian, but you can see what they're doing, and it's just, I love it. There's one Army in Scale, I think he's called. A lot of adverts, but really, really good work, really good, enjoyable stuff. So go take a look at that. I've also bought a 1/35th scale trumpeter Coast Guard thing, which is a Rubege with P-15 anti-ship missiles. I'm always talking about doing this. I saw it on eModels at a sale price of $89.95. Did the usual, got on the phone. Hello Antics, will you match it? Yep. There we go, got that for $89.95. So always worth a try. Phone your local hobby shop, see if they can match it, support your local hobby shop and keep them in business. If they say no, they can't match it, but they'll do it for $95, you might decide, well, it's worth it to save the risk of it getting damaged in the post. Having said that, sometimes you see stuff on Amazon for ridiculous prices and you just can't resist it. So I do know for a fact that Amazon sometimes sell kits at lower than cost price. So I think they'll sell them just to get rid of them. They obviously work on if it's on the shelf, it's taking up warehouse space, get rid of it. And sometimes you see some stupid prices. Quite often Amazon stuff is quite expensive, so buyer beware. So that's about that for this month. So it was just a quick update really, just to say thank you to everyone for all your comments, and thank you for your people pledging money. As I say, if you want to donate to the channel, I have no income other than what I do here. I don't have any pension, or I don't claim any benefits or anything, so the few bits and pieces of resin I sell and the money I get from you guys donating on PayPal, and the money I get from the advertising on here, which isn't, it's less than 100 quid a month. So that's that. So it's very much appreciated. As I say, it's all going in a pot, and it's all going to go towards a camera, and then I'm going to look at some better lighting. And I'm also now considering changing this around and making this a bit more like a studio rather than a spare room with a modelling bench in it. So watch this space. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon, and I'll have some great reviews coming your way. Watch this space. I'm going to have a lot of reviews coming your way in the next 3 or 4 days. See you soon. Bye bye.